So this is a lab session, and as I told you, and I have sent you a mail as well, that regarding your practical laboratories or the lab session. Let me stop the video. Regarding your lab session, uh, see, there are the algorithms which are supposed to be implemented, but I think that implementation method or implementation language, uh, according to me, for your batch it should be Python, and there is a reason for it, because usually we do it in C or C++ only, but now considering uh, the requirement that you should have and you must have a basic knowledge of Python, and there is no dedicated subject for Python yet. There is a subject called Python with data science, but it's an elective subject, so you might have not selected that subject. So what I suggest is that for algorithm subject, uh, we will be considering Python as a programming language. So all the programs and all the algorithms will be implemented in Python only. So that was the first thing which I wanted to discuss. Now, as I can understand that every one of you will not be comfortable with Python. So now in this subject, throughout the lab session, you will be learning two things. That is the concepts of the algorithm as well as the basic understanding of Python language. So obviously that will help you to brush up your knowledge about Python. Remember, Python is a very simple language. Let me tell you, even though it's very powerful, yet it is very simple. So if you have thorough knowledge of C, then Python is very much there. Actually, there is nothing new in Python when you compare it with the basic aspect. So basic aspect of C and Pythons are same. So that should not create any extra headache if I consider that Python will be considered as a language for implementing the algorithms which will be part of this subject. So usually I don't force any computer language, but for this specific case, I will insist that you should use Python only and not C or C++. You might know these language, so it's good to learn a new language. I can help you for a see. You might have a knowledge of it, but let me. Today's session will be just the introduction about what will be there in the actual laboratories. So we'll not discuss any specific problem today. We'll simply discuss the overview of what will be there in the part of or as a part of your laboratory session. So let me share my screen. Okay. So this is your. Is this screen visible? Yes. So this is your practical assignment. We might change something, but I don't think it will be required. So if you see, it is basically divided into the 5 different sections. The first section is, and it is related to your actual syllabus only. So the first section is related to your chapter number 1 and 2. So that is, you will be implementing various sorting algorithms, so bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, and then you have a very simple factorial program using an iterative and recursive method. So this is your first assignment. We might add some more problems as well into this. So that depends on how you respond to and how much efforts you are putting in your practicals. Then the second segment is about the next third chapter of your syllabus, that is divide and conquer. So you will be implementing various method related to that. So you have a merge sort, quick sort, binary search, and max heap sort. This is not divide and conquer, but it is being put in that particular segment. Then third segment is related to the dynamic programming. So implementation of knapsack problem, matrix chain multiplication, making change problem, and LCS. There are 6 to 7 problem in dynamic, but out of that we have selected this 4 for implementation. Then next segment is about your greedy algorithm. So you have various problem statement in greedy, but we'll consider these 3. This too will give you various aspect of graph related problems. So that is section 4, and in section 5 you have a graph related searching techniques, so depth first search and breadth first search. After every segment you are supposed to submit the assignment. Now what will be the form of submission? Obviously it will be online. So I will create a classroom, and in that particular session you are supposed to submit it. During the lab session, what we will be doing is we will obviously all these problems will be discussed in your theory session. Remember, there is nothing new in this particular lab assignment. Everything will be part of your theory classes. So the core part of the theoretical aspect will be discussed in that session. During lab session, I will be trying to solve your queries. So whatever problems you are facing, whatever means there is an error or something like that, something which you cannot execute, something. So that will be discussed during the lab session. So lab session will not be kind of a one-way traffic. Okay, if you will ask the question, then I will give the answer. If you want to know something, that say you sort, that can be anything which is related to the practical aspect. So that I will be discussing. So that's about the assignment which you have. Now let us discuss the how you are going to start with, right? So as I told you that you will be doing the practicals in the Python. So first step is you need to learn or understand what are the basic of Python. Before that, you need to install Python in your local machine, or on your laptop or desktop PC you are having at your home. Obviously, if it's an offline class, then all the machines are having Python only. But since it's a I don't know what will be the mode of operation. So let us first understand how you will start. So you go to the Google and type Python downloads. You will see this file. There are obviously, if you are having a Ubuntu, which you must have now. So if it's an Ubuntu, then the Python will be by default installed. But if it's a Windows, then you have to go for this link, and here you will find the packages. Okay, so you can download it and install it. That's it. You should go for the latest version of Python, so it should be 3.8 or 3.9. So that is the first step. Second step, the editor in which you are going to perform. I will strongly recommend VS Code. So you must install this Visual Studio Code. So you will have separate version. So you have Windows version as well here. But let me tell you, now you are in the third year, so your laptop or desktop should have and must have Ubuntu operating system or any Linux based operating system, because development has to be done in Linux only. That will solve many problems, that will ease your development process. So I'm not saying you should remove Windows, but you should create a dual partition. And how to do that? Okay, that requires some kind of a training. So we might arrange one kind of a workshop where you will be understanding how to create a partition and install Ubuntu in that. So that is I'm planning, maybe I will be doing it next week, so with our lab assistant. So that will help you, or they will discuss how to create a multi-partition OS, so that at the boot time only you can select the operating system and you can work accordingly. So that will be done. But still, if something has happened and you cannot continue with Ubuntu right now, and if you want to do it in Windows only, then also it's fine. But I strongly recommend that you should go with a Linux based operating system. So this is what I recommend. And the second step, you will install this. Once you install this, let me show you. Just wait. Okay. So once you install VS Code, you will see something like this when you start. You should go here. That is called an extensions. And in extensions, you can type Python. So you will probably find the first recommendation. It's an extension from Microsoft only. And you just click on that. And here you should install it. So here you'll find the install button. So you should install this extension. Now what and how it's going to help you? Basically, this extension, let me open some Python project, then it will give you more clear idea. Let's say this is one of the project which I have created. So if I have installed this extension, then how it's going to help you? So basically, if I write simple, let's say import, then it will give me the suggestions. That is the most important part. Even if I say I'm using this dictionary, then it will give me all the suggestions which are required. So let's say I want to run a for loop. So it will give me this kind of a suggestions if I have installed that particular extension. Apart from that extension, I think I have installed one more, which is also useful. Yes, this one. You can type Python snippets. This is the version from this person, and you will find a lots of snippets in Python. Even if you don't install this, this is sufficient actually. So the extension by Microsoft is sufficient for starting with your development in Python in VS Code. So I hope this is clear, that step 1 is to install Python, step 2 is to install VS Code, and step 3 is to add this extension into VS Code. Now let us start. How can you start with Python? So obviously that requires the knowledge of Python language. So now this will be your step 4. The best place to learn Python is programmease.com. Right. So this is the best place to learn Python. There are other languages as well if you are interested. But I think the tutorial for Python is very good over here. So you can simply start with this tutorial. There are videos as well. Those who are actually comfortable in here, they are using something else for IDE. Don't use that. Use VS Code only, because there is a reason for it. VS Code will be used not just for Python, it will be used for your Node.js project, it will be used for your Java project, it will be used for your PHP project. So it's always good to have a command on a single editor rather than using multiple editor for multiple type. Right, so this is a base place to learn Python. You can simply go through this keywords and identifiers. Yeah, I think the statement and comments. Okay, you can understand that instead of a bracket, Python uses something else. Python is a case sensitive, so true has to be written something like this, capital T, then RUE. It's not like PHP or something like that where you can write in any case. Python is a case sensitive language. So capital and small are different for Python. To create a variable, no need to type integer, float, string, just write the name of the variable, that's it. You give any language, it will be converted to that type of variable. So it's very easy actually. You should not be worried about the type of the variable. The language will take care of it, right? But there are some rules for naming the variables, like this should be the rules, but usually for Python we use the underscore convention. So underscore is the way to write the variable names in Python. If it's a constant, obviously, then you can use capital, otherwise it should be. So you can go through this actually. The data types are there, but you should not be worried about it. But still, Python has its own set of data types. So I think you should at least go through this introduction part, flow control, functions, and these data types. No need to, at this point of time, no need to go into this this core topic, that files, object classes, advanced topics, date and time. At least you can go through this 4 topic, then it will be easy for you to go with it. Those who are already doing Python, then they should not be worried about it. But for this is for those students who have not yet done anything in the Python. Right, so that was the step number 4, that you first you install Python, second you use the editor VS Code, third you add the extension for Python in VS Code, fourth you learn the basic concept of Python, and now fifth you will start with the actual programming. So you can create a program over here like C. If you want to execute this as a main program, this is what you are supposed to write. So let's say okay, this is the simplest program I have written. If you have not used VS Code, then if you click on this button, it will open this. Go to the terminal. Here you will find the terminal. So if I want to execute this, then I can execute Python, then test.py. That's it. Remember, Python is an interpreter language, so that means it does not require any compilation like we do in C. In C or C++, first we need to compile the program and then we can execute. Here, you can straight away execute the program. So let's say we are creating a program for a bubble sort. So obviously bubble sort requires one array. So let's say you have taken this. Okay. So this is my input array, and then I want for loop, or I should use while loop. See, usually for loop in Python is used for traversing through array. So when you are interested in just running a multiple instance, you should use while loop. So while your I is less than 5, j is equal to 0. Yes, again while loop. So j is less than 5. Then remember in Python, if you move this code over here, then it is no more considered inside the while loop. So you have to be careful about the indentation. So now I will check if a of I is greater than a of j, then I require to swap it. So a of I is E. Okay. So I think this should sort it. Simply okay. We have not incremented I and j. So this is my if loop. J plus plus. J plus plus is not there, I think, here. So j equal to j plus 1. And then here I will do I equal to I plus 1. Right, so because we have sorted in descending order, my array is sorted now. Okay, so this is how you can start with it. Now you can always use functions for this. So I can create a function, say bubble sort, and I'm passing an array. All this logic will go inside my function. Finally, I will return a. is equal to our short. So now what I have done, I have created a function for doing the same thing, right? So obviously, as I told you, the only thing which you should be taking care about is the indentation. So you cannot write this content like this. It will be considered that it is not inside the function. So if you want to make sure that this entire content is inside the function, then you should have a tab, not two tabs, just a single. Similarly, we want that this should be inside the while loop, so it should have a tab. We want that this should be inside another while loop, so it should have a tab. So this is important. If you don't mention anything, it will simply execute the main. So this is how I write the main. However, you can directly execute the function as well. So instead of writing this, mm, it should also work. It requires a concept of module. I think that will be too early to discuss. So what I want to say is that you can directly execute this function as well. But right now you will not see that actually. Okay. So this is how you can start with. So I hope you have understood the basic aspect of what we are supposed to do inside this particular course. Anything which you want to ask? Yes, anyone. So how many of you understood or already doing the Python programming? Post your comment on chat box. Those who are already doing Python programming. Those who are not want to use the Python, they should ask me personally whether they can do it in other language or not. Because I need the reason for it, and that will be discussed one to one. So there is no uh, general and common instruction. Is that clear, Madhu? So if you're not using Python, then what else you are trying to use? That is the answer which I require. So that will be discussed one to one. Yes, anything else? Okay, so in that case, if you don't have any question, then I will stop this session, and obviously we'll see what we can do in the next session once the sufficient topic is being discussed in your theoretical class. So that's it for today. Have a nice day.